I want to give a special shout out to all my patrons first. Thank you so much to my Bibliospren, Bibliohowlers, and my Bibliomancers. It means a lot to me that you give me your extra support for my passion and hobby. Hi everyone, Petrik here. It's the end of the month, so it is time to talk about all the books that I got within this month. And I will just start immediately from the books that I purchased first because I only managed to buy one book. Yeah, I'm doing well because I'm trying to cut down on my book purchases because, well, it's almost Christmas. It's kind of near Christmas, okay? So I'm trying to save up on money because I know when Christmas comes, I will be spending a lot of money on books again. And the one that I bought that arrived is Circe, the 10th anniversary edition of Circe by Madeline Miller. This edition will match my copy of The Song of Achilles, the 10th anniversary edition, published by Bloomsbury. And yeah, this comes with a new end paper. It's pretty, and also a new 3 pages of foreword from the author regarding Circe and why she decided to write this book. And at the back, there's a quote from the book. "I will not be like a bird bred in a cage, I thought, too dull to fly even when the door stands open." I think it is a pretty edition. Do note that as far as paper quality goes, it is standard hardcover. It is just something to celebrate the 10th anniversary edition, not a limited or special edition really. And that's really the only books that I bought this month. For the rest of the books that you're going to see soon on today's video, all of them were sent to me by publishers, authors, and also booksellers. And I am truly grateful toward all of them. Really, it means a lot. And on top of that, Brilliant, together with all these authors and publishers, want to support my passion for reading and reviewing. So today's video is sponsored by Brilliant. What if I tell you there is a free and easy way to learn statistics, data science, mathematics, algorithms, technologies, and more? Brilliant.org has a focus on making sure everyone can learn and study something new despite how busy they are, anywhere and anytime in bite-sized lessons. And whatever your skill level, Brilliant can customize content to fit your needs and let you solve at your own pace. As a content creator, I need and am still learning about algorithms and technology. In the new How Technology Works course, you can explore topics like what actually makes a password good, or how recommendation algorithms know what content you will like. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free for the full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/PetrikLeo or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Thank you so much to Brilliant.org for sponsoring today's video. And now let's go back to talking about the books that I bought this month. And this month I got almost 30 books, and I will start by talking about the self-published fantasy books gifted to me first. First one that I want to show is something that I have shown on this channel. It is Alpha Clash: The Awakening by A.J. Light. This is a superhero story taking place in the world of the card game of Alpha Clash. It is a universe created by Rising Empire Studios, and right now there is a hardcover edition, a Kickstarter campaign for the hardcover edition going on for the book at the moment. It is a much more beautiful edition compared to this one, and if you are interested in superhero fiction, I recommend you to check out the Kickstarter campaign. I've read only the first quarter of Alpha Clash, and so far it's good, but I'm taking my time with this one. And then the next book that I got is The Dreamer's Throne by Seth Ring. This is a dark lit RPG novel. It is about someone who gets transported to a different world, but on the back it is written that he arrives in a broken body, a mysterious world, and it will take all his intelligence to survive. If you are familiar with the term, it is what I would call an isekai novel, because it is said that after a close brush with death, Garrett realized that he's in a new world, and worse, he's missing an arm and paralyzed from the waist down, a fact that doesn't deter the brutal gang lord whose floor he's crashing on from wanting to throw him out into the street, and it will take all his intelligence and wit to survive. I think it is an interesting premise, and unlike many lit RPG novel, it seems like this one will be darker than usual. It seems like we will be following a tale of an anti-hero. I have wanted to read Seth Ring's books for quite a while now, and I think I will start from The Dreamer's Throne. I think some of you might know about his books. The title is The Battle Mage Farmer. It is a very popular lit RPG series, and well, I think I will start from this one instead of Battle Mage Farmer. And then the next 2 self-published fantasy books that I got, both of them are gorgeous hardcovers. The first one is The Trials of Ashmount, and then the second one is the sequel, The Buzzard's Bull. This is the first two books in the Tragedy of Cadane series by John F. Palladino, and it is a character-driven grimdark fantasy series. John Palladino and many authors have mentioned that this is a series that should be tried if you love reading books by Joe Abercrombie like The First Low World. And I am a huge fan of The First Low World by Joe Abercrombie. And I think this cover art is beautiful. The cover art to The Buzzard's Bull and also The Childs of Ashmount, both of them are done by Dusan Markovic, and yet they look stunning. And when you open the dust jacket, the naked hardcover will features the same cover art but without the text, and somehow they look even better. I look forward to reading this one. Some of my friends and fellow reviewers who love reading grimdark and indie fantasy have mentioned that they really had a great time reading the Tragedy of Cadane series. And plus, as the author said, the author actually spent $80 to send these two books to my place. It is so much more than I expected, and the least I can do is to read and review the series. Hopefully, I will end up loving them. And moving on to the next two self-published fantasy books I got, well, this is actually a double copy because the author made a mistake. So I got two of this thick omnibus. Yes, this is the omnibus hardcover edition of the Dragon's Blade trilogy by Michael R. Miller. Michael Miller is the author behind I think some of you might know because I just reviewed his book on my YouTube channel recently. The first book is Ascendant, and yeah, he's the author behind the Songs of Chaos series, a Dragon Rider progression epic fantasy. But before the release of the Songs of Chaos, Michael Miller has actually wrote a trilogy, and that is this trilogy, the Dragon's Blade trilogy. It has been combined into this one beautiful hardcover omnibus. And if you want to order a copy, a signed copy of this one, you can check out the Broken Binding website. And at the front page, you will get something, something like this. Ta-da! It's pretty, right? I believe you can get the hardcover omnibus edition with this front page only from the Broken Binding. And yeah, I look forward to reading this one. Probably not until I'm done reading the Songs of Chaos series though. But I love this one. Thank you so much to Michael Miller for sending me a copy of the Dragon's Blade trilogy omnibus. And next, I got a copy of Wolf of Withervale by Joaquin Baldwin. This is the first book in the Norse Saga series. On the back, it is written that this is an ambitious, sweeping saga as epic as it is queer. So I believe this one is LGBTQ friendly as well. And yeah, this one actually comes really high produced because it has interior artworks. And again, the naked hardcover features the cover art without the text. And it comes with many interior artworks and also a map. And although they are done in black and white, you can actually see the full resolution of all the artworks in full color on the author's website. And I highly recommend you to check that out. I think, again, this just goes to show that the author has put so much passion and also budget into the production of his debut novel. I look forward to reading this one for the first time, hopefully sooner than later. I still have two more self-published fantasy books to showcase today, and of course the next one is The Return to Eden by Philip Chase. This is the conclusion to the Edan trilogy, and I am so proud of Philip Chase for managing to actually really publish the entire trilogy within a single year. That is an impressive achievement. And yeah, it did took him more than 18 years, I think, to write the entire trilogy, but still, it is awesome. And I have read the first book. I highly enjoyed reading that one. And I hope I can continue to reading The Prophet of Eden as soon as possible and then jump into reading The Return to Eden, well, after that. And yeah, many people who have read The Prophet of Eden agreed that it is even better than The Way of Eden. And I think that is very promising to me. Really love the coming of age and also the classic style, classic and yet told in a modern narrative style that Philip Chase put into his writing style. If you love reading classic epic fantasy with a prose that is kinda, let's say, similar to Pat Williams, then I think you cannot go wrong with reading Philip Chase Eden trilogy. There is a lot of things to like in this trilogy if you love both classic and also modern epic fantasy. And finally, the last self-published fantasy book, I think some of you might know about this because I have posted an unboxing of this book, and it is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang, the one with the limited edition published by Raidmark creative. I finally have a copy of this stunning edition. It is absolutely stunning, not gonna lie. The cover art by Felix Ortiz and the design by Sean King, and also the silver edges, they are all super beautiful. I have always wanted a limited edition for the Sword of Kaigen because I consider this the best self-published fantasy book of all time, and also the best standalone book that I have ever read. And now I finally have a copy. And yeah, thank you so much to ML Wang and also Great Mark for making sure that I have a copy of the Sword of Kaigen Deluxe Hardcover Edition. There are 2 interior artworks inside the Sword of Kaigen, and both of them are illustrated by Felix Ortiz as well. If you still haven't read the Sword of Kaigen yet, make sure to do it as soon as possible. Doesn't matter whether you are reading it from this edition or the standard paperback edition or the Kindle or audiobook edition, just make sure to consume the story. It is absolutely incredible, and I am really pleased that I am actually mentioned in the acknowledgement of the Sword of Kaigen. It has been 4 years since the first time I read and reviewed this book, and it makes my heart so happy seeing that so many readers since then continue to read, love, and praise the Sword of Kaigen. And now let's move on to the final section of today's book haul video. Time to talk about all the books that were sent to me by traditional publishers. And because I just talked about special edition earlier, the special edition for the Sword of Kaigen, I might as well start by talking about the broken binding books that I got first. And I got 3 this month. The first 2, well, is finally The Heroes and also Red Country. These are book number 5 and book number 6 in the First Law world, and yes, you can see they connect with one another. With the acquisition of these 2, it means that I finally own every book by Joe Abercrombie in the First Law world in hardcover edition. And I need to thank the Broken Binding for sending me these 2 books because, well, I'm a huge fan of the First Law world, really huge fan. And not only the Broken Binding sent me these 2 hardcover copies, they also sent me a copy of this art print by Felix Ortiz again. This is an art print from an event taking place in the Heroes. I will not give spoilers just in case you haven't read this book yet. I have seen some people complain that their art print arrived in damaged condition, but fortunately this one actually came to my place in such good condition. And the last book that I got from the Broken Binding, it is The Witness for the Dead and also The Grief of Stones. I think these are 2 stories combined into one omnibus hardcover. Yeah, this is, I think, a standalone sequel, I think, to The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. Yeah, it comes with an end paper of the map inside the series, and I haven't read The Goblin Emperor yet. I think the reception toward The Goblin Emperor has always been mixed. Sometimes I heard people absolutely felt bored with the book, but some have mentioned they really love The Goblin Emperor, especially if you like something a bit cozy and also political. So maybe someday I will get around to this one. I still don't know when. As I always say, my TBR pile is immense, but if I end up loving The Goblin Emperor, then I will make sure to read The Witness for the Dead and also The Grief of Stones. And moving on to the next book, this is the 30th anniversary edition of Vert. Yeah, Vert by Jeff Noon. I haven't read anything by Jeff Noon yet, and this one is sent to me by Angry Robots. Angry Robots said that this is a very highly praised book, and I don't actually know anything else about this book. So if you have read this book or anything by Jeff Noon, do tell me what you think about his books and whether I should put this in my list of priority books to read or not. Recently, Angry Robot actually revealed the newest book by Jeff Noon, I think Gok Magok or Luda, yes, something like that, and that one definitely caught my interest. So let's see whether I will end up reading that one first or Vert 30th Anniversary Edition. So that's from Angry Robot. Let's move on to the next 2 books sent to me by Orbit Books, and the first one is The Fractured Dark by Megan E. O'Keefe. Yeah, this is the sequel to The Blighted World, a sci-fi trilogy that I still haven't read yet. I forgot the title of the trilogy. Is it mentioned? Oh yeah, the title of the trilogy is The Devoured Worlds. Yeah. And as I always said, I have read only The Velocity Weapon by Megan O'Keefe. I highly enjoyed that one. I still haven't even finished reading that trilogy, the Protectorate series. But reading Velocity Weapon has definitely earned my interest in trying out more of Megan E. O'Keefe's books, especially because because her books are usually marketed toward those who love playing Mass Effect, and I love Mass Effect. Such a great video game franchise, and yeah, hopefully I will end up reading this whenever I get around to it. And also the cover art done by Jamie Jones look absolutely beautiful. And the next book that I got from Orbit Books, it is The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. This is the newest book by Josiah Bancroft. I do not think it is a part of the Books of Babel series, and I think many of you have kind of akin me to actually a hater of Josiah Bancroft. And let me just say this, that is certainly not the case. I love Sand in the Sand. I love Arm of the Sphinx. I love The Hot King. I absolutely dislike The Fall of Babel. That's only one book, okay? I love 3 books, I dislike 1 book. How does that make me a hater? I even know Josiah Bancroft, so it doesn't give me pleasure to give 1.5 stars rating to The Fall of Babel, but I had to be honest with my rating, okay? Even though it is an advanced reading copy, even though I know Josiah Bancroft. But I still look forward to reading The Hexologist. And my hope is this. Hopefully I will end up loving this, and The Fall of Babel will be just a one-time thing where I actually dislike. Because I do like reading his writing style very much. I just hope the story and the direction is something that is suitable to my reading taste this time, just like the first 3 books in the Books of Babel series. And the cover to The Hexologist is once again done by Ian Leno, the same cover artist and also designer to the first 4 books in the Books of Babel series. And I'm going to talk about one more book, and then I will proceed to the final section, and that is to talk about all the books that were sent to me by Press Ize Press. And the next one is The Words of Kings and Prophets by Shona Lawless. This is the sequel to The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. And as I said, I plan to make this trilogy a priority trilogy to read in the year 2024. I heard nothing but great things about this historical fantasy series. I think in Ireland inspired historical fantasy series. Brothers Gwyn loved it, and also plenty of other booktubers also loved it. I believe Philip Chase also loved the first book, The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. And of course, I have to give it a try, especially because I think this one is a character-driven fantasy trilogy. And Shona Lawless and also the publisher, Head of Zeus, has been kind enough to send me a copy of The Words of Kings and Prophets. I'm still waiting for a copy of The Children of Gods and Fighting Men to arrive, and then I will be ready to tackle the trilogy within next year. I do not think I have the time, unfortunately, to fit in this trilogy within the remaining months of the year. But yeah, it is a priority of mine to read this in 2024. And finally, for the remaining 12 books in today's book haul video, all of them were sent to me by Ize Press and also Yen Press. It means all of them are either manhwa or light novels. And I will start by talking about the manhwa first. The first one is the 7th volume in Solo Leveling. Yeah, I have talked about the Solo Leveling series on my YouTube channel plenty of times. It is one of my favorite manhwa series, and once again, I am super thankful that Ize Press sent me a copy of the newest volume in the series. And this one actually concludes the first season of Solo Leveling. It means I think in total, there will be a total of maybe 14 or 15 volumes of Solo Leveling, by approximation anyway. And yeah, if you haven't read Solo Leveling yet, if you love a main character that is badass, maybe too powerful, but also very satisfying to read his actions, make sure to read Solo Leveling. You cannot go wrong with this one. The actions and all the artworks, they are amazing. If you have read this manhwa, you will know which battle this volume contains. It is, well, a battle against something like an ant. Okay, yeah. And then the next 2 manhwa that I got, this is the 2nd volume and also the 3rd volume of The World After the Fall by Undead Gumja. Take a look at the back cover. They're so beautiful. And I have read only the 1st volume. I think it's good and it has potential. It is illustrated by the same studio behind Solo Leveling, Red Eyes Studio. And I think that's why the artwork inside this one is just downright gorgeous and the actions are incredible. I just hope that the 2nd and maybe the volumes beyond are even better than the 1st volume. I'm really hoping that's the case. Just like manga, I always say that if you're going to read manga or manhwa, try to not judge it based on the first few volumes, because most manga and manhwa do take some time, like 5, sometimes even 10 volumes before they actually get really good. And if you want to see some of the artworks here, I'm going to open some random page and then you can see just how beautiful they look. Ta-da, ta-da. So pretty, right? So yeah, looking forward to reading this one soon. And the next manhwa that I got, it is Jungle Juice by Hyung-eun and also illustrated by Juder. This one, Ize Press actually pitched this to me because I love superhero story and I love My Hero Academia so much. The manga series My Hero Academia is one of my favorites, and Ize Press told me that because I love that manga series, I'm going to love reading Jungle Juice. And well, of course, I couldn't say no to that. And I am thankful that they sent this to me. I definitely look forward to reading this, definitely sooner than later. And this hold on, I'm going to show some of the artworks inside. Like this one. I think this will be an action-packed superhero story that I think, if I'm not mistaken, the characters will actually adapt the power of bugs into their abilities. And as you can see from the cover art, I think this one is a dragonfly, so I'm going to assume that the main character will adapt the power of dragonfly and then fight with the abilities that he get from dragonfly. That's really my assumption anyway. I look forward to reading this as soon as possible. But for those of you who want to know more, at the back it is written Prey versus Predator. Every society has its hierarchy, and college student Su Chan Jang is at the top of the human one. But despite his popularity and charisma, he has a secret that keeps him from getting close with others. Under his clothes lies a pair of dragonfly wings. See? As I said, right? And when he is forced to expose them to save the girl he likes, Su Chan suddenly finds himself plummeting to the bottom of the food chain. It is then, alone and at his lowest point, that he is introduced to a hidden society of fellow human insect hybrids. A buzz with both friend and foe, this world offers Su Chan the opportunity to seize a new start for himself. All that's left is climbing his way back to the top. Looking forward to reading this. And finally, the last manhwa that I got is actually a romantic comedy. Yeah, it is the second volume in A Business Proposal by Narak. And yeah, I did watch the TV show drama of A Business Proposal, and I really enjoyed watching that, surprisingly. Yeah, and this is the manhwa where it's adapted from, and I think the manhwa will actually go even beyond the TV show adaptation. I probably will just read this during my leisure time and also randomly, depends on my reading mood. But I have actually read the first volume, and just like the romantic comedy TV show, and it was actually quite enjoyable. It's something good to read when you want to really shut down your brain. Yeah. And now moving on to the final 7 books. All of them are light novels, and the first one is Belle by Mamoru Hosoda. So this one, I think this is a novelization of the movie anime, the animated movie. And Mamoru Hosoda is one of my favorite directors in the world of anime. The Girl Who Lived Through Times, Summer Wars, and also The Boy and the Beast. I pretty much love everything that Mamoru Hosoda directed. But somehow I still haven't watched Belle yet. So this is a novelization, but I probably will have to watch the movie first because I really love the anime movie by Mamoru Hosoda. But for those of you who want to read a novelization of that movie adaptation instead, well, try reading Belle by Mamoru Hosoda. Based on the story that Mamoru Hosoda usually write, I think I'm quite confident that the story will at least be good, and it will involve a lot of digital and technologies. And speaking of anime adaptation, the next 4 volumes that I got, they are volume 2 until volume 5 of 86 by Asato Asato. Yeah, this is volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and also volume 5. And I have actually watched the anime adaptation of the first 2 seasons, and I believe that the first 2 seasons actually covers the light novels volume 1 until volume 3. So if I want to continue beyond the story that I got in the anime TV show, that I guess I will have to read from volume 4. And I don't know how the light novel will go, but I know that this is a very highly praised light novel, a sci-fi light novel series. Sorry for the changes in angle, by the way. My tripod is broken, so it's really hard to make the camera stay still. But yeah, anyway, I look forward to reading 86 as soon as I can. I enjoyed watching the anime, and I expect I will love the light novels as well. As I said, this is some of the most highly praised sci-fi light novels. And finally, for the last 2 books of today's book haul video, Both of them are something that I have no idea about. These are sent to me complimentary copies from Ize Press and Ize Press. And the first one is Sentenced to be a Hero, and also the second one is Kunon the Sorcerer Can See. I believe Kunon the Sorcerer Can See is about a magician, a blind magician that uses magic so that he can see. You can actually see that at the front page, all light novels usually have this. It has a full color printing. All volumes in 86 have this kind of art too at the front of the book, and also Overlord and many more. So yeah, thank you so much to Ize Press and Ize Press for sending me all these manhwa and light novels to read. So that's it. That's pretty much it from me today. That's all the books that I got this month. And as I said, I am very thankful to all publishers and authors who send me all these review copies to read and review. As you can probably tell, my TBR pile is absolutely immense and impossible to control, but I will not complain about getting this many books. I look forward to reading all of them whenever my reading mood decides. So yeah, do let me know what you think about my book haul, which one of these books that you think are the most interesting, and of course do tell me how many books you got this month and what are some of your favorite book haul this month. As always, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.